Hey everybody, my name's Hannah and I am the YouTuber over here at Bookshelfish. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about kind of just a mid-year goals update. Thanks for coming. So one thing I like to do around like early July is kind of just take a look at all of the reading goals I had for the year and seeing more or less just how they're going. So we're going to talk about that today. Kind of view this video as like we're just having a little yap sesh. FaceTiming. You can listen to this like a podcast or something like that since I'm not going to have a lot of visuals. We're just going to talk. So my first goal for the year was to read 52 books. I always set my annual goal kind of low for me so that I know I can complete it and I'm not giving myself pressure basically to try to like accomplish this huge goal that's just really not actually very doable. So 52 is always my goal. And then I have like a stretch goal of like a number of books I would like to read, but it's not a big deal if I don't. I did not hit this last year. And I think I did the year before, but only like barely. So the stretch goal is 200 books. So if we're kind of halving that, I should be at about 100 books at the midway point. At the end of June, I had read 96 books. So I'm a little bit behind. I can hustle on the back end of 2025. And I think still hit that 200 mark pretty comfortably if I decide I want to. Last year, I think I read 192, 93 books, something like that. So I was like almost there, but at the very end around Christmas, I was like, I do not want to push myself to try to meet this. That doesn't sound very fun. So I didn't. Next, I had a goal to not buy as many physical books. I started with 652 books on my TBR this year, and unfortunately, I have bought quite a few. So that number has gone up, but I've steadily kind of stopped buying books as much. So like January, I acquired like 40 books, and that's acquired. So I didn't buy all of those. January is also my birthday month, so that tends to be a really heavy book influx month for me. So I went to like 40 in June. I think I only bought 8 or like acquired 8 for the entire month. So it's definitely like gone down. I'm filming this July 18th and I've only gotten 5 books this month. So I feel like it's going down. Will it be under 652 by the end of the year? Hard to say, probably not. And then I wanted to do quarterly check-ins for TBR accountability, like new acquisitions and stuff. And I think I've been really good about this. So I've been doing a quarterly video for all of the books that I've brought in. And then over on my Instagram, usually at least once a month, I do what I call a state of the shelf post, which basically is, you know, how many books I've read off my TBR, how many I've added to it, how we're doing just generally on goals and stuff. So this is like the kind of high level umbrella version of that. So if you're interested in kind of like month to month updates, I would follow over there for State of the Shelf. My husband and I wanted to buddy read Count of Monte Cristo together this year. We've basically been failing epically at this. I think we've both read like 3 installations. We use an app called Serial, Serial, which basically like once a day it delivers a very readable, usually it's like a 10 to 15 minute chunk of any books that are, I forget what you call that, in the public domain. That's what I was going for. So this book takes a bunch of old classics that are in the public domain and just chops them up essentially and gives you them in little bite-sized pieces. So Count of Monte Cristo is 208 of those bite-sized pieces. And so of those 208, I think Michael and I have made it through 3. So we need to get back on that train if we're hoping to finish this year, which I feel like we won't. But it's more of a fun goal than anything else. I'm not going to die if I don't read Monte Cristo in 2025. One of my goals, this is a little bit of a weird one, was to not do any specific monthly challenges unless I come up with them myself. The reason for this is that I always get sucked in and like just want to participate in everything, and then I get really derailed from what my actual TBR plans were. I feel like a lot of people talk about being mood readers and like, oh, I'm just going to read whatever the mood hits to read and that kind of thing. I'm really not like that. I like having a set TBR. I usually don't decide the order of things that I'm going to read unless there's like ARC deadlines coming up or I'm in a buddy read or something like that. But most of the time I feel more comfortable just picking from like, here's 5 to 10 books you can choose from, rather than being like, you have your entire 700 book TBR, choose whatever you want. Like I feel like that gives me decision paralysis. So I'm not so much a mood reader as a TBR reader. Because of that, entering challenges is hard for me because I have this like need to like finish them. And so that's not super great because obviously if I have read a green book on the challenge and I don't have a single one on my TBR, I'm gonna go find one and then not get through. You get it. So anyway, point is to not do any specific monthly challenges. I think I've done a good job. I've joined a challenge here and there, but it's more just for like the social aspect of like the group chats and stuff than actually doing the challenge. So I think that has gone really well. My goal is to read 15 book of the month books. This is again a year-long goal. I've read 14 so far. So since I'm only 1 book away from that goal, I honestly might up it to like 30 because I do think that I could do that. And I've really slowed down on getting book of the month books, so it's really helped me to get through my backlist. Same thing, I said read 15 Fairy Loot books. I've read 2. So that one I'm really not doing so well at. Although I do have 2 and possibly a third one that I've just read in July, so that number is gonna go up, hopefully. And then I wanted to read my remaining, so I'm no longer an Aardvark subscription person. I just feel like I wasn't really as in love with a lot of their choices when I quit, and I quit like, I don't know, maybe a year ago. I would totally go back to it someday. I loved their subscription, but the books just weren't exactly hitting for me in that moment. So anyway, but I still have 12 Aardvark books that I have not read yet that came from that subscription. So my goal was to read all 12 of those this year. That is still my goal, but I have not read any. And that's really a big part of why I unsubscribed, because I wasn't reading the books and was kind of picking ones that I wasn't super interested in. And when the book subscription started, there were no skips available. So I don't like regret it. It's just, you know, another thing I need to deal with. And then I also wanted to finish a bunch of series this year. So far I finished the Heartless Hunter duology, Sacred Stones, which is like Dawn of Onyx, Promise of Peridot, those books, finished those. I finished the Prison Healer trilogy. I finished Rebel Blue Ranch. I finished the Never After series and Powerless as well. And as of filming this today, although this didn't happen in June, I finished the Firelight trilogy too. So I've been making some progress, which I am happy with. This is going to be a much shorter video today because those are really just the things I wanted to go through, but thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear how your goals are going this year, and I will see you next week. Thanks for being here, guys.